Let's get it. All right. To all of my European Americans, my Mexican Americans, Latino Americans, all of my Pacific Islanders, all of my Asians, I just need to say, y'all done fucking lost the plot. Like, real talk. You lost it. I don't think that y'all should be like violent at all. I don't think that y'all should be yelling at all. I think that what y'all need to do is settle down to a whisper until they're ready to hear and listen to y'all. They'll give you a bullhorn. Y'all need to just sit down and lock arms and chill out. It's all being televised. Let the world see how brutal the police force really can be. Let the world see how oppressive the regime can be. Y'all need to take lessons from Martin. Yeah. Martin took lessons from Gandhi. Gandhi's, sexual deviant, but that's on some other stuff. But yeah, y'all need to just, sit back. It's already, the will was created. Y'all just need to re-roll that sucker in the street. Y'all kind of peaceful, but y'all flickering. Y'all need to wait for them boys to break out the hoses and all that other good stuff. My lady was like, we need to do something. That's our people. That's our family. I'm looking at her and I'm like, yeah, them is my peoples. Them is my friends, my associates, but nah, man, I'm not about to slide like that for them. I did that shit at the election. You feel me? I am not about to get beat, battered, and bruised over something that could have been completely avoided had everybody stuck together and played their part. So I'm gonna give you advice from a safe distance, because I'm not doing that. Like, real talk. What y'all need to do is be peaceful. Y'all need to have coordinate everything. You need to have somebody order Little Caesars or whatever you need to do, and some cup of noodles, and pass it all along. Y'all, this is prison rules now. Y'all need to lock arms, sit down. Y'all need to just do it that way. You feel me? Y'all really need to stick together. All differences aside. That one dude that was speaking up against the military, talking about, hey, you come to our home, you work for this regime, they don't care about you. That's what you need to do. You need to reach out to these soldiers, reach out to these evil ass police, and you need to tell them, hey, there's still time for you to be saved, You're still one of us, even though you don't act like you're one of us, even though you've been corrupted and you've been a sadist for all this time. There's still time for you to be saved. You need to reach out and appeal to those who actually still go to church. You need to tell them, hey, if Jesus came back, would he be about this life? Would he be doing what you're doing? If Jesus came back, would you poke him with one of those sticks that you have? Huh? Would you shoot him with a rubber bullet? Would you hit him with some chemical irritant, CO spray or whatever? How you treat others, it matters. And if you're doing it maliciously, it matters. But let's be real. Everybody's been walking past all of this riot gear for so long. They've been anxious. They've been hearing stories about how some of these cops are jealous. They're like, hey man, these cops are on horses and they get to beat people. Man, just let them spark off the riot. They're thirsty for it because they're sadists. They've been working this ring, this pattern of violence for so long. They've been waiting for something to spark off. They watch horrible police footage and they just wish that they were there. They're like, damn, it's like a football team watching old football footage over and over and over and being like, damn, I wish I could play with my team. I ain't never got to play with my team. All we do is practice. I want to play. Put me in, coach. I just want to play. I know where the gear's at. I know how to use it. So, hey, just let these guys know there's time for you to be saved. There's time to rescue your place in civilization. Because right now, all your memorabilia as a cop, it's gonna be something your ass want to hide in the closet. You want to hide from family members. Your kids are gonna want to hide your memorabilia. All the things you stand for, your cap, your badge. When you die, your kids aren't gonna show it off. They're not gonna say, "My dad was a cop." Your grandkids are not gonna say, "Granddad was a cop." They're gonna be like, he had jobs, he lived life. They're gonna treat your shit like you worked at Mickey D. Donald's. Because Mickey D. Donald's is nothing to really brag about. Because Mickey D. Donald's is something that hurts and harms people in the long run. Mickey D. Donald's doesn't really pay well. They're gonna be like, he had a job, he took care of his family, but he didn't stand on the right side of society. He was hated by the majority. That's what it is. I don't like to say my heart goes out to you after what, that man did, that South, he ain't even Afrikaner. He's not African, not Afrikaner. What that Dutch immigrant, that Dutch African immigrant did. I feel for you, but I can't say my heart goes out to you anymore. You feel me? He ruined that. He ruined Tesla. He ruined Neuralink. He ruined Starlink. He ruined the letter X. He ruined everything. I mean, the deviant. I think that our biggest problem as Americans, real talk, our biggest problem as Americans is that we have so much money tied up in everything that there's no room for civilization. There's no room for society. There's no room for morality. I think that one big problem is Citizens United. What is Citizens United, you ask? Citizens United is the reason you can vote for something, but they weigh your vote against the entirety of the company Coca-Cola. So we have your vote, and then we have Coca-Cola's vote, and they vote with their money. That means your vote isn't worth shit. Citizens United is also the reason you can write your politician and tell him, hey, I'll send you a contribution, but you know who else is gonna send a contribution? All of Tesla. All of Tesla. They're gonna get a big contribution from Tesla, or they can get your $20 donation. You know what I mean? Citizens United is the reason that 30,000 people don't have a voice, because they're being weighed against all of BP oil. They're being weighed versus all of ExxonMobil, or what do they call them? The oil sisters? The three sisters? Forget. But yeah, all of these companies have taken you over. And as far as waste, fraud, and abuse, let's start thinking about Raytheon, Northrop Grumman. Let's talk about all of these major companies that receive our tax money. The real super rich welfare queens. The big boys, you know what I mean? All of these defense contractors. That's where all of our tax money's going. Yeah, Elon got his lips on the teat as well, but not like these guys. These guys also cycle in all of our politicians. They lobby them in and lobby them out. And then the politicians become the lobbyists. Yeah. So if you accepted money from one of these big people like Honeywell, Raytheon, or Northrop Grumman, you know what I mean? If you were a politician and you were getting lobbied by one of these companies, as soon as your term is up, as long as you did good by these companies, you're going to become the next lobbyist. And then you're going to lobby one of the politicians. And then once they're done, they'll get ushered in. And then they'll be the lobbyist. And then they'll lobby the next politician. And it's a deadly cycle where everybody takes our money and they charge $3,000 for a screwdriver. And America's like, well, we gotta pay them. Why do we gotta pay them? Because we don't want their freelancing company, and we don't want them to move their products overseas or give their information or any of their knowledge to someone else. You know what? If they do that, we should be able to legally give them the death penalty, because that's treasonous. Those secrets are based off of not proprietary information. That's military, that's all of our tax money. There's subsidiary welfare queens. And if they want to go ahead and go to another country with their information, give them the death penalty. On top of that, companies like DuPont, 3M, give them the death penalty. I'm tired of seeing 3M on tape. I'm tired of seeing DuPont in the news or DuPont on all of my feed. The truth is, DuPont utilized Teflon, chemicals in Teflon that were the PFAS. And that was created by 3M. But DuPont, they bought it in bulk, knowing exactly what it does to you. They poisoned the entire planet. They poured crap into our water wells. And you know what DuPont makes now? Go to the store, buy a C4 energy drink, look on the label, it's going to say DuPont. In small print, it'll say DuPont. Why haven't we given these places the death penalty? I see you like to give all of these people who have committed crimes, you like to give them the death penalty. I see DJT, he likes to give people the death penalty. He tries to break records and stuff. He gave so many people the death penalty, it's not even funny. Or he followed out their sentences. He expedited their death penalty sentences. If we can give a man the death penalty, why can't we go ahead and exercise that same right to the death penalty towards corporations, since they do want to be recognized as people? If a corporation is a person, then what is a person working in a corporation? They've been minimalized down to nothing but a hair follicle cell. Not even a hair follicle. A hair follicle cell. Yeah. Chief executive owner can be the whole brain of the organization. Corporate can be all the synapses and stuff that connect everything. But all the workers, they're merely finger cells, nail cells, hand follicle, hair follicles. They're nothing but tissue inside of appendages. And they'll regrow more appendages. They regrow cells. They regrow fingernails. You're nothing but a fingernail cell. That's all you are to a company. I'm ready to start giving these companies the death penalty. If you want to automate your company and get rid of all manpower, you should be given the death penalty, because we don't have the foresight to fast forward 30 years and see where that company's headed. No people work for that company, but that company takes in all people money. Who's spending that people money? Who's spending the majority of that people money if that company doesn't drink, eat, or shit? All the company's money is just taken up to the top and given to 1%, which means the vast majority of all of the money that goes to these companies It's just a redistribution of wealth. And if these companies aren't giving back more than they're taking in, if they're not cleaning up more than they pollute, if they're not doing more for people than they take away for people, they need to be given a death penalty. If you attempt to monopolize, if you do more than 3 or 4 things that you are outsourcing, you need to be on the chopping block. That's just what it is. That's what I think. I think that capitalism needs to be reined in. It needs to be reined in. Another thing, I think everybody should get a turn in the government. I think that if we all can do jury duty, we all can be politicians for a short stint in our life. Because y'all are not doing shit. And we all know it. This is what Chrissy Noam does. All right, I'm going to ask myself a question. Well, Toilet Talker, can you tell me about why we should use Tesla in our government? I stand by Tesla and all that Tesla does. They do a lot for our facilities, and they also support our country, and they're an American-made car, and we need to do what we can to make sure that they exist in the near future. I didn't say shit. That's all she does. That's literally all she does. We need to get rid of all of these lifetime politicians. I think we all agree. It's about time you should be able to vote on an app. We don't need them. We don't need them. Another thing, why is slavery still a thing? Can somebody tell me why we still have slavery in our jails? Because they need to suffer. Okay, they need to suffer. And we haven't outgrown slavery yet? Should we whip them too? Should we starve them? Why is it that we can have people that make $1 billion before we pay for, I don't know, school lunch, or before we take care of the debt, or before we have nationalized health care, or before we correct our homeless problem? Why should one person make $1 billion? I think after you make 100 million, everything in excess of 100 million should just be kicked back into the community until we start fixing our problem. Once we have every single problem fixed, then we should start talking about, okay, this guy deserves $1 billion. But until we fix all of our problems, there's no way your ass should be making $1 billion. Greed. I said it once, I'll say it forever. You call somebody who eats too much, somebody who's obese and eats too much, a glutton. You call somebody who lives in their own filth and keeps bringing stuff into the house and won't stop collecting things or bringing things into the house, you call them a hoarder. You call somebody who smokes too much marijuana a pothead. You call someone who drinks too much an alcoholic. You call someone who does illicit drugs too much a dope addict or a fiend. But you call somebody who hoards money a genius. America, get your act together. Thanks for hearing me out. Y'all so crazy.